So I just wanted to go over the deck list for this Exodia deck that my opponent used against me. If you're not very familiar with Exodia deck, typically just use a lot of draw engines to draw through their whole entire deck in order to get the 5 pieces. So I've seen many variants of Exodia over the years. So I wanted to share this with you guys in case you guys wanted to create your own and get some ideas. Unfortunately, Master Duel has this. I don't know if this is an exact deck because unfortunately Master Duel has this bug currently where you can't check your opponent's deck in the replays, but luckily I was able to find this deck, which seems pretty similar in the public deck search, so that kind of worked out. Anyway, starting through this deck, we have Treasure Panda. So Treasure Panda says you can banish up to 3 spell trap cards from your graveyard face down, and then special summon 1 normal monster from your deck whose level equals the number of cards banished to activate this effect. And this isn't a hard once per turn, so this card's a really good way to get your Exodia pieces out onto the board. Next we have Summoner Monk. This card just basically lets you discard 1 spell and then special summon 1 level 4 monster from your deck, which it will be Treasure Panda, which will allow you to get out an Exodia piece or any other normal tuner monster or normal monster that you need from the deck. This card basically gives you another turn. You can stop a direct attack and then end their battle phase. Factory of Mass Production, you can target 2 normal monsters in your graveyard and add them to your hand. So once you can get your Exodia pieces into the graveyard, this will let you draw 2 of them to get 2 of them in your hand. This is a really good card in Exodia decks. Upstart Goblin, and everyone's familiar with this card. It's an ultra rare, really hard to get, but it's a free +1. I call it a free +1 because giving your opponent 1,000 life points isn't really that big a deal when getting 1 card can really just help you out so much. So just more draw power. If you have 3 more cards in your hand, you can draw a card. You do have to discard your entire hand in the end phase, but I mean, you're trying to draw through your whole deck, so it's not really a big deal. So we can consider these all a +1. Terraforming, just add one field spell from your deck to your hand. Just another way to thin your deck, as well as get Chicken Game. Chicken Game you're going to be using for the draw 1. Tune Table of Contents, just more deck thinning. This isn't a hard +1, so you can literally just keep searching all these tune cards out. 1, 2, 3, 4 to get the field spell. That's just free 4 cards out of your deck. This card targets 5 monsters in your graveyard and then shuffles 5 of back into the deck, and then you can draw 2 cards. Really good draw power. Magical Mallet, shuffle any number of cards from your hand to the deck, then you draw the same number of cards. Really good way to filter your hand. If you have really crappy cards, you can shuffle those back in order to get more drawing power. Wonder Wand, you can equip to a Spellcaster monster and it gains 500 attack. And then if you send this and the card to the graveyard, you can draw 2. It's more draw power. This card destruction is another good way to filter your hand. Both players discard as many cards as possible from their hands. Then each player draws the same number of cards and discarded. So as you can see, a lot of draw power, a lot of ways to draw through your deck, a lot of ways to filter your hands. That's pretty much every Exodia deck in a nutshell. You can also see that these are normal Spellcaster monsters, which really synergize with other cards. Wonder Wand, that has to be a Spellcaster monster. And for Treasure Panda, it has to be a normal monster. So as you can see too, that this Flamebell Guard is a tuner monster. So that'll allow you to go into Formula Synchron, which this card says when this card is Synchro Summon, you can draw a card. So just another free +1. You can synchro it out with so you need a Tuna 4. So you can use this card and Summoner Monk in order to summon Stardust Charge Warrior, which this card is another +1. Then if you can link summon the 4 cards, this will get your Exodia pieces into the graveyard. And then with this card, you typically use it for this effect. So when this card is link summoned, you can draw 4 cards, then place 3 cards from your hand on the bottom of your deck in any order. So another way to get 1 Exodia pieces in the graveyard and 2 filter your hand, draw cards that you need. Typically you want to grab these or have these in your hand so that way you can summon the Exodia pieces that you're missing back into your hand. And that's pretty much that. Now I'll just have a replay of the video. So here we are. Of course I get max C, so I'm feeling pretty good. Second turn. Lays the Tune Table of Contents to search out more tune cards from his deck and add them to his hand. Thinking, is this a tune deck? And then I see him getting the same cards, and I know it's going to be an Exodia deck. Unfortunately, I have no way to stop it. So you kind of just sit back and hope for the best. He's just going to sit here and draw through his deck. Summon Summoner Monk. I go ahead and played my Maxine. Why not? Might as well get some free cards. As I'm sitting here, wait for his turn to end. Summoner Monk is going to summon Treasure Panda. Treasure Panda is going to allow him to normal summon Exodia pieces from his deck to his field. So there's 1, 2, and 3. Wonder One on one of the Exodia pieces is going to allow him to draw 2 cards. Chicken Game is a free +1. Treasure Panda summon another normal monster. Magical Mallet's going to let him filter his hand. Drop 1, draw 1, and then he's going to Synchro Summon into Formula Synchron. Formula Synchron will let him draw a card, and then Treasure Panda will summon another Exodia piece, which will allow him to link summon into Saruja the Skull Dread. Saruja will draw 4, deposit 3, and then he has Dark Factory of Mass Production, which will allow him to draw 2 Exodia pieces from his graveyard and add them to his hand. And another one will allow him to draw 2 more Exodia pieces from the graveyard and add to his hand for a total of 5. And that's how you summon Exodia first turn and just get absolutely destroyed. Look how many cards I have in my hand that I can't even use. Really sad about it. So that's all I have for you guys. Go ahead and check out my edit of this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.